welcome to BME for real, where we talk about basically all the for real things happening in the world. Um, some of them politics, some of them about the everyday life. Sometimes we go deep into the human psyche, relationships. Other times we just talk about shit that pisses us off. It's stuff that happens, around the world and everything. As you know, we have the sub shows, which is like BME Anime, and of course BME Sports. Always look out for those as well. And we got a couple topics for you guys today. I ain't gonna lie, one of them is very depressing in regards to the uh, Georgia shooting. Uh, we're definitely gonna be talking about that and our thoughts on that, along with our prayers. But we wanna start with something that's affected us as Americans or just the world in general today, which is basically the value of the dollar, right? Like what is happening? Why can't people like in our range, millennials, Gen Z, why can't we buy houses now? And to kind of make matters worse, the quality of the house in regards to like how long it can stay up is actually pretty down. You know what I'm saying? Like every house now is a tinderbox. You see the look here. I currently live in a home that was built in 1911. I have no issues in regards to the weather. I have no issues in regards to fire. None of that. But a house that was just built in 2017, one match, one wrong cigarette, something. Why you think they try? Why you think these big businesses are trying to get these older houses? They ain't trying to buy these new houses. They're trying to get these older houses. You know why? Because you can modify these older houses and they will still be standing. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, if you modify these new houses, one wrong move, just one wall that shouldn't be there, it's gone.
Done.
It's gone. But we want to talk about the buying power real quick of your dollar. And basically, we're going to use $100,000 as like the base. Right? It's easy to calculate. You know what I'm saying? So to kind of put in perspective, inflation has always happened, right? Because we don't have anything to back it up. Right? The U.S. dollar is based off of loans and dreams. Okay? It's not based off of gold like it used to. That was the gold standard. The gold standard actually kept the dollar in place because you had something to back it up with. No, it's based off loans and hope and dreams, right? So I'll give you guys an example. Just off rip, right? And we think like today it's out of control, but it started rising easily. So in 1967, we're starting off with 100,000, right? So 1967 is our grandparents, right? They're about 25, 20. They're looking for a house and everything. So they $100,000 to them is 100, right? That's our base. By the next year, $100,000 is actually 104,000. So it automatically rose 4%. This is why inflation started to go crazy. So mind you, it rose 4%, then 6, then 7. So in 3 years, from 1967 to 1970, $100,000 became 118,000. Right? Then you go, then it starts to drop down, and then in 1974, for some reason, I don't know what, maybe it was Watergate or something, but in 1974, it was 11%. Inflation was 11%. What in the world would be happening right now in 1974 where all our goods and services are going up 11% in price? And then the very next year, 10% of that. Because a lot of people don't realize this is that inflation is based off of compounding, right? So that $100,000 we started off with, that 4% that was added to it is from the 100,000. But the 6% that was added to that wasn't based off the 100,000. It was based off the 104,000. Right? So this starts to build up. Let's skip ahead 30 years to the year 2000. Now, $100,000 that our parents had is now $500,000 and $550,000. right? 550,000. And mind you, between 1991 and 2000 was some of our lowest percentage in inflation. Shout out to Bill Clinton, right? Some of our lowest, and it's been quintupled since our grandparents. So 2000 is basically where our parents started to buy their houses, right? So that means our parents need to make at least 5 times what our grandparents were making. So now let's skip to us, right? Currently, right? So the year is 2024. Guess what? That 500,000, 550,000,
yep,
is now 1,077,000. So now we have to make double of what our parents made, right? And if my math is correct, we now have to make 10 times what our grandparents made. Because 100,000 back then is $1 million today. And what's the average household now? They try some bull BS. They try, it's 300,000. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because what you guys are slick. What you're doing is you're not going based off of the actual existing houses that people are trying to buy. You're going based off of just houses in general. So if I'm in Texas and I got 10,000 houses that are vacant and Texas is cheap to go, and guess what? You're going to go based off those Texas numbers. But if I'm in Massachusetts and I'm looking for a one family house, that one family is 700,000. What in what world am I able to afford $700,000? And to make matters worse is the single family house is what I call a black hole. You don't make money off the single family house,
right?
Unless you get equity. So it's like what, all these politicians, everybody's like, oh, we need to bring down prices of the house, and I'll be real with you. I'll be real. The house I'm in now is worth. I'm gonna put in air quotes, 1.2 million. Because the potential you can get from this house is damn near $7,000 a month, if not more. Hey, if you live in the house, it's 700,000. If you don't live in the house, you can get $10,000 a month off this house.
That's wild,
right? Because on average, you can charge, because it's a 3-bedroom each floor. You can charge up to $3,350 because we're in the middle of Dorchester, right? For a 3-bedroom. But then it's like, okay, who can afford that? Clearly not me. Clearly not the families that need to rent it. So who is going to be able to buy, not only buy the house, but to rent it? You know what I'm saying? I feel like low key, all these homeowners are told by their agents, this is how much you need to charge for the house. Because even I had an issue where I had what do they call them? Not an inspector. The people who basically give you the value of the house. Right?
Oh, the appraiser.
Yeah. And I told him, hey, give me the true value of this house. As in minus all the repairs that are needed. He didn't do it. You know why? Because he went based off the potential of the house. That's what appraisers do. They go based off the potential. Right? Even if I see something that costs $50,000 to do, update this, update that, new roof, all that stuff. Even if I mentioned it to him, guess what he did? He didn't put it in his notes, right? In regards to like how much price, he just said, owner says this might need fixing. Right. And then I realized I read the same, not same appraiser, but when my grandfather bought this house in 92, he got an appraiser. And guess what the appraiser did? The appraiser told him everything. He was like, "This is the potential. This is how much needs to be fixed. This is the actual value of the house." They don't do that no more. Actually, they're so corrupt. They actually ask you before you get an appraiser, "Are you selling or are you buying?" Because if you're selling, we can boost up the numbers. But if you're buying, we can boost them now. We can lower them now. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lawyer friend who literally said all he had to do was tell his friend whether I'm selling or buying, and they get the numbers lower or higher. So at what point is this greed? At what point is the inflation happening in the US basically just corporate and personal greed? What do you think? What do you think? I know if over there in Philly, it's like a mix of expensive and cheap. What's going on?
Actually, with what you pointed out with how you have an older house and they're better. So basically, up in the city, my dad has a store there. So near him, like all the other stores, they bought some. Big developer came in, bought all of it, tore down all the old buildings, and then put up those cheap condos, all just fiberboard, and had like little white covering on them, and they just put the fake bricks over it, and that's it. And you know what happened a year in? All of those condos have mold problems. All of them, because it's cheap material. They didn't seal it properly, and not everyone who lives there is screwed at the moment. It's a whole thing in the city right now. It's crazy. But they're doing that all over the city in Philly right now. They're just knocking down the whole block, build cheap condos, charging like $2,500, $3,000, $3,500 just to rent them. And people are getting hammered. And then overinflating the prices. Because when you actually go into these condos and all these buildings, it's not a lot of space. It's not. It's like one bedroom, one bath. And like, all right, give us a $3,000. You're like, what? For what? They give you a tiny little garage that unless you have like a compact, you can't really even use.
Yeah. So
they're just overinflating all these prices ridiculously. And no one can afford it. And then I also know that currently a lot of those apartment buildings, like the really quote unquote nice ones, a lot of those apartments are vacant because no one can afford them. They buy a block, knock it down, build really expensive apartments, and they just sit because no one can afford to pay the rent. So then, you always look at what's the financial point of that? Because they're not making money on it. They're just sitting there.
What the hell? Man, I hate those condos, man.
They're ugly. They're not nice.
Like they because I get it, right? I get it. Like they push off these condos, these studio, blah blah, and the best part about it is that you can own the condo, right? That's what it is, baby. You can own the condo. So, but here's the thing, though. I may be able to own the space, but I can't own the area.
Right.
So it's not even worth it because I don't know how it works, but let's say, God forbid, the owner of the entire building goes, I sold it.
That's actually a good point.
So what happens? Am I supposed to leave? Like,
I think they have to pay you out. I think they pay you out.
You have to give my money back.
That's all they can do.
Then do you pay me what I paid you, or do you pay me what the condo would be worth currently from when I paid you?
They probably go for current value.
Current,
and then try to finagle some stuff.
If they're trying to break it down, man, I just don't. People. Don't get me wrong. Like, what's his name? 2.5 Men, right? When I heard about condos, I looked at Charlie Sheen's house in 2.5 Men.
Right.
Because he had a beach condo. And what happened? It had 3 bedrooms, upstairs, property, downstairs, he had a deck, all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, that's a condo. And then when I grew up and saw what a condo actually is,
it's depressing.
It's depressing. It's basically a 1 studio, right? A studio or a 2-bedroom on a floor, right? And then here's the perks, though. Here's the perks. We got a gym downstairs.
And a pool outside, maybe, or something like that.
A pool outside. That's the perk, right? I was like, okay, well, if I don't feel like going to the pool, what if I don't feel like using the gym? Maybe I'm just fat. You know what I mean? What if that? Do I get a discount? if I'm not using your utilities?
Or they
You know what
charge
I'm
you for
saying?
parking, which is wild. It's like, bro,
Exactly. You gonna charge
I'm
me
paying
for
the rent here.
parking?
Why do I have to pay for parking? Why do I gotta pay for
Exactly,
gym
bro.
access? Why do I gotta pay for pool? They like, they're just throwing all these fees at
On
you.
top of that, I'm on the 54th floor. Right? So somebody gotta accommodate me with something. Right? You ain't gonna, oh yeah, the elevator free for you because you passed number 30. Normally people gotta take the stairs. Some shit like that. Let
The
me feel
elevator's free.
special. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's happening now too because they're taking houses like mine, like multifamilies,
Mm.
three floors, and they're turning them into condos.
Mm-hmm.
I have one just down the street. It just sold. Each floor it sold for, I think it was $600,000.
Damn.
But he was able to get the owner of the house of the building was able to get 1.8 million out of the 3 floors. Right? That's crazy, right?
Mhm.
Again, and to me, it's like, okay, who just moved in there?
No one.
Right? Right? Who moved in there? Because it clearly wasn't somebody look like me.
Right.
You know, so who just moved in there that looked at a floor and went, 600,000. On top of that, right? If people don't know this, if you own a floor,
Mm.
you're responsible for that floor. As in, like say I'm the landlord for this building, right?
Right.
If your heat goes out, I have to pay for the heat.
Right.
Right? I have to, and if I can't fix the heat, I gotta pay for you to go to a hotel.
Mm.
If you own your floor, and your heat go out, good luck. Good luck. What's good, QC? Good luck. That's all I'm saying. So why would you no? If anything, at least own the first floor.
Right. Easy one. There you go.
Right. Because that way you got easier access to your car. You could decorate your door. You could cut the grass a little bit, something. You know what I mean? But when I see these people just going for condos just because they're condos, they remind me of the people that said like you need to, after you reach like 23, you should move out your parents' house.
Mm.
And I'm like, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, so you want me to struggle on purpose? Right? You want me to struggle on purpose, right? Just for pride? You know what I'm saying? Because me staying where I'm at allowed me to save. Pay off my car, pay off my student loans, type shit. Right? Able to then have the buying power and credit to then buy a house. But then I got people who moved out when they were 18, 19. Oh, you used to live with your parents? Yeah. How did you eat yet? You know what I'm saying?
I did.
Yeah, nah. I ain't eat since yesterday. Yeah, because you're struggling. I will never in my life struggle for pride, bro. I ain't Vegeta. I ain't Vegeta. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when people shame people to struggle early, it's a weird psyche. It's a weird mindset. For real. But let's move on with our topic. Let's move on to our topic. I'm just saying, guys, you need to basically be making 10% more. I mean, 10 times more than your grandparents and 2 times more than your parents in order to afford what they could afford.
And newsflash, it's not like wages kept up. They ain't talking about that either.
No. If anything, that whole BS, like if you raise minimum wage, it's gonna make everything more expensive. I forgot what it's called, like a snowball fallacy or something. Where you just automatically assume once everybody gets enough money, it's gonna, But on top of that, the government always prints more money anyway to give out to people. So like, why not just give it to me? The world's gonna still be the same,
and prices go up regardless.
Inflation's still gonna be the same. So it's like, why not let me be richer while things are the same? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But let's get into it. Jared, you got your next topic?
Yes. So currently, with all the we have an upcoming election, but one of the big topics regarding taxes was taxing the corporations. One candidate wants to raise the taxes on the corporations. One
Mhm.
candidate wants to lower the taxes on the corporations. Now, I'm sure we've all heard of trickle down economics.
Yes.
If you give
Reaganomics.
corporations tax breaks and give them more money to work with, they will distribute it through the company and it will flow down to the workers.
Mhm.
We know that's bullshit. That
Bullshit.
never, ever happens. Companies
That's
get more money. All they care about is stock buybacks, building a new facility, and throwing out bonuses at the end of the year to the board and the CEO. That's all that ever happens.
Literally. Yep.
Because if trickle down worked, Amazon employees would be the happiest people on this planet. They would be rolling in it. But as we all know, that's not what happens. And even when the corporations get the tax breaks, it still comes back to us, regardless, in higher charges. We still pay more regardless. No matter
Yeah.
how much money corporations seem to have, we never get a break. So there's no point in giving them more to work with because it doesn't benefit the working man, the normal people, I should say. Normal people never benefit from this.
Mhm.
Because ideally, if corporations are getting all these tax breaks, right, that means it's going to cost them less to manufacture or ship their goods. Therefore, they should be charging less for the goods because they're not paying as much. But they don't do that. Instead, they still raise their prices regardless. So they're getting huge tax breaks and they're spiking their profits, and we just get punched in the face still. So what's the point of that?
So what kind of made people do with the trickle down economics and stuff like that is because at the end of the day, the backers of your election are the rich folk.
Right.
And Trump, regardless of what he's saying and doing, although I think he's probably a pretty shitty human being, he said it perfectly in his first election, which is basically like your friends, right? He was on the Hillary, your friends benefit from this like I do.
Mm.
You won't call out your friends. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like all these companies are getting the tax cuts to then save money.
Mm.
But again, like you said, they're not giving it to the employee, they're putting it somewhere else. The only time a company will actually give it back to the employee is if it's a nonprofit.
Right.
Because remember, so guys, if you don't know, if you're a nonprofit, in order to be a nonprofit, your revenue and loss and everything has to be set to 0 or less.
Mm.
Which means if you have a profit at the end of the year, you need to spend that money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you see hospitals and things like that. They have the merit-based reviews. They'll do not competition, but market reevaluations.
Mm.
Because if they made an excess amount of money, like a large excess, they now have to redistribute it amongst the company, or they lose their tax exemption
Mm.
for being a nonprofit. Right. But then if you see places like Nike and stuff like that, if they saving money, guess who gets paid? The CEOs, the figureheads, all the people who aren't actually putting in the work, they're the ones that get paid the most. And to be fair, this is why I always tell people, to be fair, that's the goal. As you get promoted, you do less work. And that's what it's for. You're moving up to work less and get paid more. So
Right.
I'm not even mad at those folk because that's how life is. I think that's how life's supposed to be. Because I think about like this, right? You're moving up, you're making more, you're getting older, you're working less, you're about to retire. So it lines up with, you about to retire basically. So you're doing less work, but you're still getting paid more for your service. And then you retire, and then the next person's up.
Right.
And then the next. Right. But Reaganomics basically was one of the most horrible things to ever exist in the United States. And I believe under Reagan, like that's it was it was Reagan, then Bush, then Trump. Those are the presidents that gave corporations these big tax cuts.
Mm.
And we saw nothing out of it. Think about this one, right? Let's be real. For all the people who don't even follow politics, how many times did you hear on the news? Oh, so and so created 30,000 more jobs. What does that mean? If you make 30,000 more jobs and not hire a single person, what's the benefit? Huh? That don't make sense. So I'm tired of hearing this. Oh, this person created more jobs. Let me know how many people got hired.
And
Let me know how
also,
many people got hired, and let me know how many people aren't making the minimum wage when they got hired.
I was gonna say, yeah. I was gonna say, what job is it?
You know what I'm saying?
If it's 30,000 new McDonald's jobs, so
No.
that's a low paying job. That doesn't help.
Exactly. Exactly my point. You know what I'm saying? But figuring out economics is definitely one of the worst things to happen to this country. But of course, those at the higher ups and those who have families that already come from power and stuff, they're not going to feel that type of way. Which kind of brings me into basically this almost the same topic in regards to political. Is the world isn't so cut and dry. Cut and dry. It's not black. When it comes to politics, when it comes to parties and stuff like that, you see, they often associate Democrats with left, and then Republicans with right, liberal, conservative, that kind of thing. I always tell them like it's not cut and dry unless you make it. Because me, technically speaking, I'm a conservative Democrat, right? I believe certain things should have changed, but I'm also open up to certain things changing, right? I can't list my political views in regards to that unless I get in trouble because people will look, oh, for real? Like, that's you? Like, you know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is like, I always say these three things. One, do you. Just don't force me. That's number one. Number two, and this gonna lead into what we're gonna talk about with the Georgia shooting. You have the right to bear arms. You don't need an AK. Because you honestly should only have two means of bearing arms: protection and food. Right? It's for hunting. You don't need an AK in your house because what are you rapid firing for? And you're not shooting a buck with an AK. You know what I'm saying? So
Come tight,
people often say like, "Oh, but what if my government is tyrannical?"
Bro,
Okay, I bet. Let me go get my AK and watch that U.S. military come out and know, hey, I need you to bomb this area. My AK gonna stop that bomb. But this is why I also love our country, is because we're not dumb. I won't even say dumb. We're not blindly following orders, right? So if the U.S. government was like, "Hey, y'all need to bomb this city,"
they're gonna say no.
We're gonna say no. Like, sorry, sir, no. Like, because our army is literally there to question orders, right? That's why we, even with our nukes and all that stuff, why do you think it needs more than one person to have a key? Because the other person can go, no. You know what I'm saying?
And if the government if they did turn tyrannical, right? And the military, somehow our entire military is like, we will do whatever you say, we lose. That's it. It's game over. Besides just the amount of sheer troops, if you ever have gone down the rabbit hole of our military like I have, bro, we're screwed if somehow the military turns on its own people. We have no chance. There's no, oh, we're the rebels. No, we lose. 10 out of 10 times. Every time. Tanks, drones, jets, all the insane shit that our military has. We are 3,000% outclassed. And on top of that, as we know, America prides itself on our military. We're always beating our chest like we got the best military in the world.
Yeah.
What is it, $100 billion budget? And growing? We lose if somehow the whole entire military decides to turn like, I'm gonna have my gun. You're gonna lose. You will die. They'll bomb your house. They'll roll a tank up on your doorstep and light you up with the M1 Abrams. They'll airstrike it. We got F-22 Raptors. bomb. We would just lose. So if someone's like, it's the tyrannical government, that's a terrible argument because you would just lose if it did happen. It would be game over if the entire government turned against the military agreed. There would be no rebellion. We're just slaves now or whatever. It's game over. Because your AK, your M4, your AR-15, they have a tank. They have armored vehicles. You don't have armor-piercing rounds.
Because the thing is too, you gotta remember, like the law was written when this was ready. The British are coming, right? All right, bet. I'm at my window.
Let me reload. Let me reload. I love that.
Okay.
Don't forget,
right?
if your gun's even slightly wet, it won't fire either. So
exactly. Right? So that's why they had to put the bayonets on them, because it's like, damn, I already fired my bullet charge. You know? Oh my God. Like, just imagine being like the guy with the gun, right? You guys are all at the wall, and
yeah.
Yeah, my fault. But just imagine like being like, because remember they barely took cover. They were walking straight forward against each other. Forward, and then you got the little drummer boy. Right? First of all, I don't give a damn who you are. Y'all need to pay that man's family because he ain't got no protection. Right? But I think there was like a common thing where it's like they let
you don't shoot the drummer boy.
Yeah.
You don't, they're off limits.
That's why I kind of love and hate the human race, because it's like, hey, we can kill each other. There's a limit though.
Like that dude's off limits. He's got a flu.
I'd be pissed if I had a gun. Right, I'm in old school, I'm aiming at them, and then remember, like it wasn't like a bullet; it was like a spray kind of thing. So,
well, no, like back muskets had the little balls, and the problem was
yeah.
They just kind of went.
So imagine you shot, right? Boom, and it missed. Now I gotta run. now I got cannonballs coming at me, and I gotta run with my bayonet yelling, because they weren't quiet. They yelled. It was like, oh, let them hear us. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I thank God I'm not in the military. Even back then.
You can't miss with an extended mag.
Man, listen.
If you're a bad shot, you can.
Listen, the extended mag was literally just having the gunpowder taped to the gun. You didn't come out your pocket. You just no, but that's like Devon said, like I love the fact that you can kill anybody. Leave these guys alone. Now, but see, now if I was smart, right? It's like, I'm doing a little drummer boy, right? Right? And in my back, I got a pistol. Right?
And
right?
sneak up.
Right? I got a pistol with me, right? And then it's like, leave him alone. He's a drum boy. Hey, are you the boss? Yeah.
Little drummer.
The war over. The war over. This is the problem, girl. Like that's like, come on, man. Like I just find it funny when people talk about tyrannical government and all this other stuff. Like, oh my God.
That's probably the little drummer boy rules, though. Like you can only beat the drummer. You can't have a firearm. That's not allowed.
Oh my God.
Crossing the rules.
That would be that'd be too hilarious, man. Oh my God. But as we're talking about these shootings, we gotta get them a little bit more serious. So we had another school shooting in Alpache,
Georgia. Yeah,
I gotta make sure I say it right. Appalachia. Damn it, I'm not saying it right. Appalachia. I'm gonna say it like that. Okay. So the issue is that I have, again, I'm a Democrat, but again, I'm a little bit more conservative. Is you can have your gun. Why the hell did you get a 14-year-old? top of that, you literally got visited by the sheriff last year about your kid trying to do up the school.
Making threats online.
So, and I get it. Like they're doing what they typically do. Is like, oh, the kid was bullied when he was a kid. His mom's a crackhead. And all this other stuff. I'm sitting here like, okay, and how many crackhead moms do people have that did shoot up a school? How many people got bullied and they fine right now? Like, don't get me wrong. I understand mental health more than most people. But to me, it's like they're charging the dad, and I thought to myself, this is one of the only times I would say definitely charge that, because he blatantly ignored every sign. Like we all know in hindsight, we can look back at things like, how did you guys know? There's literally a series on, I believe it's HBO Max or so, where they literally talk about the worst killers and incidents in America and stuff. And they lay out like everything that happened up until the moment. And in my head, it's like, how did you ignore those signs? This one is like,
it's bad.
You didn't even ignore it. You blatantly said, not my son. Because, and let's be real, parents, right? I'm a parent now, okay? If my kid was socially like, you know what I mean? If my kid was socially, you know what I mean, and had issues and had depression and was mental and all that stuff, you think I wouldn't notice? I feel like they know that their kid is on some shit, bro. And the worst part, like I said, is not the fact that the dad ignored it. It's the fact that you basically gave him the means of doing what he said he was going to.
And it was like, besides the online threats, like I remember the teacher apparently reached out to them and said, oh, he said he was hearing voices and stuff. So like, so many red flags about the kid. And they're just like, man, I'm gonna give him a gun.
Man, and you know what's fucked up? The sheriff literally said when he interviewed him, he's like, the reason I came now is because, you know, if something happened, I wouldn't be doing my job or something like that. So now he's probably looking back at it like, fuck. Did I really was I not serious? Like, did dad just take me as a joke? What's going on? You know? And, you know, and on top of this, say that don't make sense. Apparently it was the second day in school there.
That's wild.
School started, I think it said 2 weeks ago, and he never came. So this was his second week or something like that. Second day or something like that.
And what's even crazier, actually, believe it or not, Kevin, I was reading, that school did have armed guards. I'm assuming they just didn't have them everywhere. And he was able to, I guess, pop up. He killed 4 people, if anyone who's watching doesn't know. He killed 2 teachers and 2 students before the armed security got to him. But even with armed security there, he still got 4 people, and I think injured a couple others. So at this point,
that's what they're trying to figure out is how did he get in with the gun? Especially, again, basically being a new kid, you know. And then his dad appeared in court. He's like crying and all that stuff. I don't feel bad for you, bro. But as a dad, I look at him and I go, not only did you ignore your son, but now you have to suffer from your decisions with him. You know what I'm saying? Because again, one thing that hit me as a dad is like when your kid is born, you don't know what they're gonna be.
True.
So imagine going through years of life, raising them, everything like that, and they become this. And apparently the dad had conversations about school shootings with the boy. So he was basically prepping him to robbing. You know what I'm saying? He was basically prepping the dude. And he's going to cry. man, man.
And then it's like, they go to the usual questioning, like the senators, the governor, like, well, what do we do about this? I don't think there's nothing we can really do. And I'm like, the fuck you mean there's nothing we can really
Thoughts
do?
and prayers and
Lots of prayers.
and all that stuff. And again, people, here's the thing people got to realize, right? No amount of strict gun laws is going to fix this. No amount of loose gun laws is going to fix this. And the only thing that you can actually go by is like countries who straight up banned the guns.
Hmm.
But again, those same countries that banned the guns,
They have other problems.
they got knife problems now.
Like Europe. You don't get shot, you just get stabbed.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I could run from a damn knife.
What if he throws it?
You better be with blade and some ninja, because that hilt is gonna hit me, not the damn blade. That's my point. Is like, again, politics wants you to think that this thing is black and white. One side's right, one side's wrong. Let me tell y'all something, right? The reason why the access to guns is because at the end of the day, we're a country that builds. Right? If you make the laws strict, they're still gonna get the gun. If you make the laws loose, they're still gonna get the gun. Because the supply is there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But something I did realize when it came to all these shootings, it's not about where they bought the gun and stuff like that. Majority of the time, they got it from the parents. The parents safe. Their little hidden spot they thought it was hidden. The code they thought nobody would realize. Grandma hiding it under her bed. All that stuff. Almost every of these mass shootings in regards to schools happened because the parent wasn't secure.
Mm.
Right? And half of them feel like they're know-it-all parents. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's why. So like me, I don't carry it.
Mm.
I got 3 machetes in my house.
Go chop someone up.
Because if you break into my house, your mammy can't save you. I'm gonna
fillet your ass and put you on the grill.
But just imagine a dark figure in a dark house, and you just see a large machete. You're gonna shit yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I won't kill you, but you're not gonna have arms.
Right.
You know? But again, my whole thing is like, shout out, first of all, I don't know, shout out to the student who literally kept him out the door.
Mm.
Because the teacher told her to let him in. And she said no. And she checked first to see what he had, and she saw him pull out the gun. The teacher said let him in. So shout out to that student. What's her name? I don't think it said. Oh, let me see.
But
yeah, I don't think it says her name on the article, but her mother definitely taught her how to survive early on in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, see, that's why I say there's always a difference between parents. Her mom taught her how to survive. The other parent, the dad, did not teach his son how to live. That's what you see. And for the 4 that got killed, I think the football coach or one of them charged him to try to get the weapon away from him. And for Kevin, he got 4, but he shot 9 more. Yeah, thank God he was a bad shot. You know what I'm saying?
But then, like, the other thing that pissed me off was like the solutions. Whenever they're talking about what do we do, they're like, "Oh, arm the teachers, bro." Nah, I don't know if you have met kids, especially today. That is a terrible decision. If you arm teachers, your school shootings are going to triple because they're going to be popping these kids. Because honestly, bro, I know everyone has seen some of the videos on Facebook of these kids wilding out, like punching the teachers and stuff like that, straight up fighting them. Oh, they're gonna just start shooting the kids themselves. So no, that's a terrible idea. That is a horrific. The teachers are just gonna start shooting the kids. That's a stupid idea. It was like the dumbest suggestion ever. Also, the math teacher ain't exactly going to the range every day to get his shot good so he can defend his students in the first place.
Mhm.
So what, are you going to put all teachers through certified training with firearms? No, you're not going to do that.
I had a teacher. I'm gonna call her Mrs. N.
Kevin.
I'm gonna call her Mrs. N. Right, but she was basically an unfair teacher. She had clear favoritism every day. In my class, we had 2 class clowns who clearly didn't care. They actually got held back, so they didn't care. It made this lady cry, bro. She ran out the room crying because they kept making fun of her, especially when she showed her favoritism again to another student.
Mm.
I'll give you an example of that favoritism. So we get a test, right? Everybody does bad on the test. Right? I got like a C. Most of the class got like a CD, and then the straight A student got like a B minus.
Mm.
But yeah, he's had straight A's all his life in school. He started crying. Right? You know what she did?
Give him an
Turned
A.
that B minus into an A.
That's wild.
And when everybody saw that, all hell broke loose. And basically, she didn't come back for like a week or 2.
That's crazy.
So imagine if she had a gun.
This little bastard.
You know,
She comes back, start popping them
pew,
kids.
pew.
That's what would have happened.
Right? So no, don't arm this thing. Yes, I personally think if you want to stop the shootings, like in regards to like just keep it under control, more armed guards. This school did a good. They have every teacher has a thing, a life alert basically
Mm.
in the school, and they said literally like minutes after the press, boom, they already had the suspect in custody.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
But even
Like-
then, it still wasn't enough because they just didn't have enough guards, Like they have,
Yeah.
I don't know how many they said they had, but it's like at this point, I guess, what do you need, like 10, 12, depending on your score or more? Just to have like a full rotation of people.
You need at least one for every what do you call it? One for every entrance,
Mm.
a backup for every entrance, and then one roaming the floor of each floor. So if let's say your school had 3 levels and there's 3 exits each one,
Mm.
or there's 3 exits or 4 exits on the bottom. So you have 4 guards, one roaming the bottom floor.
Mm.
The next one, you have a guard. You have a guard on the stairs or the way to get to the second floor,
Mm.
and then another one roaming.
Right.
Third one, same thing, another one roaming. You can't prevent it, but you could definitely like reduce the numbers,
Right.
right? Because end of the day, they have to get past the guard, and they got to make sure they don't run into the guardian that's
Right.
moving around. But again, they don't think this is this. They think this is black and white, cut and dry. So
There's nothing we can do about it. It's a tragedy. We're so sorry. And that's it.
and like Kevin said, the systems they had in place prevented more deaths. Yeah, because like I said, they had life alert. You didn't have to call nobody. It was, all right, we on the way. Right there, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like they were ready. But it just goes to show you, like, I personally think the more you look at these kids, I always say this, right? When it comes to gangs, when it comes to drug abuse, when it comes to all this stuff, it starts at home.
Mm.
It starts with the parents. End of the day, when we were kids, we didn't know shit about this world. I didn't even know I was black or a race until somebody introduced it to me in 4th grade. My Caucasian friend, his name was Brian. I didn't know he was Caucasian. I just knew his name was Brian. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I didn't know none of that. But somebody had to teach me that. Because I was innocent. I didn't know much. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to all the stuff, even the gang stuff and everything, what did your parents do to either help you out the situation or prevent the situation?
Mm.
And I bet you all these people can look back at what their parents did and actually tell you a story. And then either ignore the parent or follow the parent. One of the two.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
It definitely is. Because, like, real talk, bro. I grew up with firearms in my house. My parents had firearms.
Yeah.
At no point in my life, like growing up, even when I was bullets up, I never thought I'm gonna grab my dad's gun and go to school and start popping people. That never happened. That never even entered my mind. Clearly, like his dad, like, bro,
His
there's
dad
no
is
way.
the literal example of what it looks like when your parents just don't care. That's all I'm saying. All right. So getting off that topic, we're gonna talk about another thing that's hitting the political waves and affecting millions of Americans is student loans. Now, I've been seeing online a lot of people, damn, how dare my taxes pay off some of my loan that they took out and blah 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 blah. For those people, I just want to tell you something. They're gonna use your taxes for whatever they want to. Okay, if you want to choose where your taxes go, you better go out there and vote. And I don't mean president. I'm talking about your city. I'm talking about your county, your city, your county, your town, your neighborhood, everything. Because y'all are always so stuck up in just the president, but the ones that affect you in your everyday life is literally your mayor, your city council, your county, your governor, and your school superintendent. You know what I'm saying? All those people affect you. But when it comes to the student loan thing, I understand it because, again, most people take out their loans when they're 18. Most people, in order to get to college, if you don't have the means, you have to take out the loans. I'll tell you how too, because I was flabbergasted when I found out my financial aid package was loans. Because I'm 18 years old. They're telling you, here's your financial aid package. I'm looking at, there's a grant there, there's a scholarship there, there's this, there's that. I'm like, yeah, I'm basically going to college for free, right? That's how I was thinking. I'm 18. I just got done asking to use the bathroom. But then you realize that your financial aid package has two things. It has subsidized and unsubsidized. You don't know what those means, but you got to sign it because you got to go to college. That's what everybody's telling you. You go to college if you want to make a living, right? Years go by. I think it's the unsubsidized that's building interest as you're in college. And then the subsidized is not. So if you took out a $5,000 loan in freshman year, it's not building interest until you graduate. So you're done with school. My thing about the student loan forgiveness thing is you're freeing up the money. Right? Nobody is paying it. Right? So my taxes, guess where my taxes go? War. My taxes go to education. My taxes go to the potholes that never get fixed. My taxes go to your tax refund. Like I'm contributing more in taxes than Mr. Oh, my taxes don't pay for this. You know what I'm saying? So, but my thing is it frees up your money. Right? I'm eligible for one of the programs because I work public service. I work for a hospital. I don't mean I'm cutting corners though. You know what I'm saying? I gotta pay. I'm paying back my loan. But the money that it's gonna save me, I put back in the economy. I'm gonna buy the house. I'm gonna buy the car. I'm gonna buy this and buy that and buy this and buy that. I always tell people basically what the government was doing with the student loan thing is they're taking this lump sum, right? And instead of going, hey guys, let's put it in this vector, they're letting the people put the money in the vector. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll be real with you. For the people who aren't paying their loans back, I do think they shouldn't get student loan because you have, in my opinion, you have to show that you're paying it back. Right. On top of that, it's being blocked by only Republican states. And the Republican states are saying it'll interfere with their tax revenue. So we do have a tax man in this chat right now. I don't know if he can type it, but Kevin, in case you're seeing it, how does the student that's our tax man, y'all. So how does the student loan, the federal student loan, affect the state taxes? Just take the time to dive into that. But I personally think if they're running into this wall, block the states that are suing you. This is a black and white answer. If your state will allow it, let them. But if your state is like, no, it's gonna mess up our revenue, exclude them from the deal. You know what I'm saying? Because if you exclude them from the deal, and then the people of that state, the majority of the people, let's say if they disagree, they can vote new people in. But if they do agree, no harm, no foul. This is why I say, like, certain things in politics, cut and dry. Other things, no, it can never be cut and dry. Gun control can't be cut and dry. Student loan forgiveness, kind of cut and dry.
You want to know what is cut and dry?
What?
Student lunches. Bro, they were proposing, hey, what if we gave kids in school free lunch?
Yeah.
And they were like, why would we do that? Why would we feed children in school? I remember there was this lady who made a video and she was like, I don't see the benefit of making sure that kids have like food in school. And I'm just like, what's wrong with some of y'all? Like, what's going on up there? It's like,
first of all, the students eat free because of the your local area, right? Your land taxes, the taxes you pay in real estate and stuff like that, that's what funds those things. So mind your damn business. You feel me? Mind your damn business. I ate for free. I'm on my code. You know what I'm saying? I had to enter that shit every time I got lunch. I remember the breakfast pizzas with the squares and had sausage.
The bag of milk.
That.
Bag of milk.
Right, with the milk. Right? Coincidentally, water was $1. I don't know why it cost me to buy water, but I could get some damn milk. I thought milk was harder to get than water, but I guess not. But that goes without saying. So, guys, all I'm saying is, y'all, a lot of things to talk about. This is why we do these podcasts. And this is why we have these shows. We're approaching our last minute. So I do want to tell y'all, I appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. I appreciate y'all for interacting with the chat. And then I'll be posting this on YouTube in an hour. So in case you missed out anything, it'll be on my YouTube page. Shout out to BME. We're still trying to build our family. We're trying to make sure we have a lot going on, trying to run things in regards to gaming, in regards to media, trying to get back to the community as we grow. So you'll be seeing us a lot more. So right now, like I said, this show is BME for real. This is when we talk about the world, basically. Talk about everything from finance to relationships to the news to politics and everything. Right? Everything that's sketchy, whatever, we're going to discuss it. Okay? Make sure to look out for other shows, BME Anime for those anime watchers, BME Sports for those jocks, okay? With that being said, Jared, you got anything you want to tell the crowd real quick?
Don't be someone's last straw. You don't know what people are going through. Don't be an asshole.
Damn.
Because you're going to say something or do something and they're going to crash out. You'll be like, damn. Damn, I wasn't expecting that.
Damn.
Don't be a dick. That's the rule I try to live by in life.
That's a good one.
Because you never know what's going to happen. You could be
I'm
that
letting y'all know
person's last
now,
straw.
too. I'm letting y'all know now, too. If you bully my son, I'll beat your ass. If my son's bullying you, you better beat his ass. All right? I don't like bullies. Just letting you know. All right, guys. We'll see you. Peace. Man,